Yup, this video is about the magical substance of WD40. What about you guys? How many different uses do you have for WD40? I'm not gonna parade around my bike and actually show you every single use, but let's talk about it. Let's get down here, right into the chain. And actually it's kind of dark. Let me lighten things up real quick. And we're back. Alright, WD-40 and your chain. A lot of people out there are kind of afraid of using this. It'll destroy their chain. I've been using it, and can it focus in for once? There we go. My chain doesn't look too bad. I don't see any horrible marring or anything like that. And the only reason I'm using this, because I ran out of chain lube, and it was too cheap to buy new ones, so I'm just going to run out the can. It's almost empty, actually, so I'm going to have to get chain lube. And it looks pretty good. I don't see any horrific stretching or anything like that. Another use, since we're down here by the rear tire, is you can take this, put it on a paper towel or sponge or whatever you got, and I'll use this as a pointer. Can you guys see all the grit and the dirt and the sediment stuck to my rim because my chain lube, not necessarily just WD-40, there's other lubes that do this, sometimes it'll fling off and get onto this area. And you can use a degreaser, but I like to save my degreaser for really big tasks. For the smaller ones, I'll just use WD-40 as a solvent and dilute that oil and grease a little bit and just wipe it all off. It's actually pretty good for making your rims clean and shiny again-ish. Another good one is my chain guard is plastic, right? It's black plastic, and since it's plastic, it has static electricity and things will stick to it, like this dust and whatnot. Same thing, WD-40, paper towel or sponge. It will actually turn this into a darker black color, make it look brand new. How cool is that? Same thing over these stickers and onto the swing arm of the actual bike. It'll just make everything look shiny, so if you're going to a show or something like that and you want to show off your bike, pretty good use of WD-40. Right here, motorcycles are full of levers and things. You can always spray a little bit in there to get it moving smoothly. Since I'm a dual sport rider, a lot of dirt and grit will get into hinges and things, so I just like to spray this once in a while. This one's a tough one for my WD-40 uses. Right here, we've got the sprocket cover, right? On the inside will be caked grease and dirt. A lot of people will use degreaser. I do too, actually. But if you don't have any, if you have, or if you're not, if you don't mind wasting a bunch of WD-40, or if you don't have anything else, you can use a crap ton of this and wipe out the inside and clean all that off. WD-40 is helpful. It's a lubricant, and people who tell you that it's not a lubricant are kind of idiots. It's literally mineral spirits and oil. Oil's a lubricant, so there you go. Let's see. I have heard of this breaking down rubber online. But the O-rings on my chain, this is my third bike, so this is about my fifth chain, they never broke, so I don't really see too much of an issue with WD-40. I will say this, you're going to have to oil your chain more, because I'm always worried that the heat or whatever will take this off, and it's always hot in Florida anyway, so the heat's already up. Any other uses for WD-40? Oh, right. I'm going to have to go to the other side of the bike. Doesn't my Ninja 250R Super Ghetto look really good? Let's see. Can I get in there? Alright. There's my throttle body right there. Cable as well. I like to throw some oil in there because the cable, even though it pulls this, it rotates and moves around. I like to just throw some oil on there. That way you don't end up with a broken cable, which is a freaking nightmare. I'll throw some on the inside boot this rubber boot right here of your clutch cable. If you've ever replaced a clutch cable, you can, I'll just do it right now. You can pull this down and expose the cable, you see? But rainwater can sometimes get in there, so I'll always throw some WD-40 in there, water displacer. Get rid of some water. Like I said, for show, it also makes everything look good. You can see my cases, my exhausts are really not so shiny because of all the sand that I've been riding in down here in Florida. There's also seashells. It's crushed seashells and stuff like that too. Take some of this, it'll make it all shine, and then you'll have a good looking bike. Let's go to rust prevention. So, my exhaust. It's made of chrome. Sometimes you can get like little pitting of rust and stuff. When I first got this bike, it was, let me show you. It was pretty rusty, alright? You can tell like places I couldn't fix here and on the bracket, full of rust. This was actually quite pitted with rust. If you take aluminum foil, spray some, you know, some of that on there, and use it like a scrubber and scrub it along your chrome parts of your bike, it'll get rid of the rust. Most of it anyway. It's not perfect, but it works well enough. And yeah, just use aluminum foil because it's softer than the metal that chrome is made of, so it won't destroy your chrome as badly as if you used like... Sorry about that, guys. Battery died, but I am back in action. Yeah, just use that aluminum foil as a scrubber to scrub that down, and it won't destroy your chrome. Let's see, WD-40, other uses? Oh, right. If you have a bike, you might have something like this where it has a cotter pin that goes through. Sometimes these can be hard to remove, so what I'll do is I'll soak it in a little bit of this, take a hammer, tap the bottom, comes right out. Make sure you don't get it on your brakes. A cool thing you can do with this as well, I don't do it all the time because I really have heard of this destroying some rubber and plastics, but it seems somewhat okay to me. Let's say I'm really far, which has happened. I was in New Smyrna Beach a little while ago, and I knew this was going to happen. A ton of like bugs and stuff are going to get caked onto the front of my mirrors. If you kind of wipe it down with WD-40 first and then go on your trip, it makes it easier to get them off. Same thing with the front wheel. I'll totally just use this to make it all black and shiny again. And I think that is... Oh, one more thing. While I move this horrible contraption. Your gas tank and your key, I like to throw some WD-40 in there. People in cold environments will put petroleum jelly or some sort of lubricant in there because it can freeze in cold temperatures. But down here, dust is the issue. Sometimes dust can get in there and then you can't use it and then you're screwed and you got to clean it out with some alcohol. Throw some lubricant in there. It can save your day. That way you're not out somewhere trying to buy some rubbing alcohol to get you out. Let's see. You can use it to remove stuck bolts. These are actually really ugly bolts. I have to replace those. But it sort of kind of works like a penetrating oil, but not as good. I've used it with success sometimes here and there, but really you'll want penetrating oil. So WD-40, always pack it with you. Or, you know, if you're in a civilized place, like not a dual sport rider, you can probably find this. You can find this at like grocery stores for some crazy reason. You have a place down here called Publix. You can find this in their automotive section or wherever. And it's so helpful. So there you go, guys. All the uses for WD-40 for my motorcycle. What do you guys use it for? Let me know. Feel free to comment in. This was just a quick video to give you guys some tips before you go on a trip. And remember, always carry a little bit of this. Stay safe out there. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, everyone. See you later.